Alright, welcome back for a replay cast. I recorded this match live, but there was so much lag, I figured it'd be better for me to recast it as a replay. So let's get into this. This is our first match outside of the learning series. So we're playing as Nurgle, and we've got a Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Nurgle with Death Magic, and we're matched up against Enchantress and Bretonnia. We're playing on Death Pass, so let's get into this. So Chaos Warrior front line, Plague Bears of Nurgle, Nurglings, Rotflies, and a Beast of Nurgle. This guy gives some kind of AoE buff, I believe. Rotflies, there you go, Slime Trail. So speed minus 10, melee attack minus 5. So I figured he'd be good for blob fighting. Nurgle is basically always going to end up doing a lot of blob fighting. You can see our opponent is very wide. A lot of men-at-arms, a lot of men-at-arms, peasant bowmen, stuff like that. Enchantress is also going to be good in blob fights because she's got a ability that drains life over time. Where is that? Did he bring it? Maybe he didn't bring it. Interesting. Okay, so she's kind of bare bones. She's got Chalice of Potions and Earth Blood and Awakening of the Wood. Okay, so we're the first to the point. Rotflies are going to sit in the back. I didn't want them going in off the bat because I more so brought these to have some kind of armor piercing value to fight against cavalry as well as mobility. So just keeping our Lord out of the mix for now. Honestly, probably could have kept them in the middle. Beast went in, was chasing after Enchantress, but ended up having to pull back. And the archers are actually going to put a little bit of damage into them on the retreat. Beast only got 50 armor, so I figured I'd better pull back and let the Chaos Warriors take the brunt. You're going to see some polearm men-at-arms chase after the Beast. They got that anti-large, so I want to stay away from that. The Plague Bears are going to come in to assist. Rotflies are jumping on top of the Peasant Bowmen. And we've got a squad of Plague Bears and the Brolickers Bubonic, which is the regiment of renowned Nurglings over here. They have damage reflection and increased leadership, and they heal over time while they're in combat. So these guys are going to be holding down on point 1, and the rest of my forces over here. Nurglings, I'm keeping these guys out right now. I feel like they're better as a reinforcing troop. I don't think they fight well by themselves because they're low armor value. I'm not sure if that rationale makes complete sense, but either way, I've got them fighting over here. Another squad of them fighting over here. We're pushing back those men-at-arms with polearms. And Awakening the Wood going down for my opponent. And we're charging in, joining the mix. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with my Beast of Nurgle and with my Lord, because I only brought Fate of Buna on my Lord. I was going to use him to be a counter against the cavalry because I feel that Nurgle tends to struggle against large units. In fact, there's not a single unit on their roster that has the anti-large trait. So, interesting fact there. Rotflies are not doing so great. One squad, I think, has completely got shot down, and the other is going to be next. So, unfortunately, they didn't get to do too much damage up there. I thought they would make quicker work of the Peasant Bowmen, but not so much. I guess they do only have 34 melee attack. So I'm bringing the Beast and my Lord over to fight against the Spear Men-at-Arms. These guys do not have armor piercing, which the Polearm Men-at-Arms do. So I figured they'd be a little bit less under threat on that side. I am winning capture weight. I think these infantry are all expendable. Most of their infantry are expendable. They've got Foot Squires, the Beast Slayers of Bastogne over here. So I gotta watch out for that. Battle Pilgrims charging in at point 1. I got dogs coming up to jump on top of these Peasant Bowmen to try to give some assistance to the Rotflies. I've also got Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes going over to point 3, and my opponent is going to be responding with some Battle Pilgrims, and we'll see if he sends anything else. Blessed Trebuchets just firing in. I try to get on top of them with some Chaos Furies, but they got fought off by the Battle Pilgrims here. So they're kind of just having free reign. and brought the beast back just to keep him away from the polearm troops, which came in to reinforce the spearmen. So we'll see what's gonna be his next opportunity to get some damage in. The Fey Enchantress, again, I don't think she brought, yeah, she did not bring her ability to drain enemies around them. So she's kind of just sitting there, not doing too much. Marauder Horsemen of Nurgle with throwing axes are coming over here to support. I wanted some more mobility. They ended up getting caught up on these battle pilgrims, and I didn't realize it at the time. The Warhounds are still chasing down peasant bowmen, and I got another squad of Chaos Warriors that kind of snuck through here and pushed up to help, so they're doing good. These guys are really going to be shining stars against a lot of the infantry that Bretonnia brought. They've got such heavy armor, they've got solid melee defense, and they're just my holding troops mainly. One thing I'm trying to pay attention to is bringing a mix of damage dealers and ground holders. When I played as Bretonnia, I feel like I did not do a good job of that. I was bringing tons of peasants, not peasants, but men-at-arms type units, but I didn't have enough damage dealers to support them often. So something I'm paying attention to here, you see Chalice of Potions came down, big damage on the Chaos Warriors and the Nurglings. They're still holding all right. I'm using Fate of Buno on the Beast Slayers of Bastogne. I actually just realized that these guys were a Regiments of Renown foot squires. I thought they were just a standard polearm unit, but not the case. So that's what I'm using Fate of Buno on. I hadn't seen any other cavalry on the field to target with it, so use it on them. Now we got Knights of the Lionhearted. These guys are Knights of the Realm, anti-large, charging downhill. I was trying to stay away from them with the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. But these guys are going to be my armor-piercing unit who will work down these heavy cavalry type units. Rotflies are on the way to help as well. More Marauders with throwing axes. I pulled them off of point 3 because I realized they weren't going to be able to do much against the Mounted Yeomen and the incoming Battle Pilgrims, who are shielded by the way, so throwing axes wouldn't be too great against them. I figured they'd help elsewhere, and I just have to sacrifice that point. We are pretty far behind in the gold damage value, but we're holding well on point 2. Trying to not over pursue and push too far out here, and we're doing good on victory points overall. Chaos Warriors still holding, just doing their thing over here, and the cavalry are actually not doing too much damage against them. These guys are anti-large, they don't have much armor piercing value. Yeah, only 8 armor piercing value. So again, Chaos Warriors holding well. Rotflies zooming around in the backfield. I think I had pulled them back when I saw these cavalry go uphill, but we'll see if they can support over there. Got the Chaos Furies back on the field. They were harassing some bowmen over here for some time. Went back to push off the field trebuchets, and now they're getting shot at by the Wardens of Montfort, who are Mounted Yeomen archers with poison on their weapons. Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes coming over here to support. Our Lord is doing pretty well. He's not lost too much health. He was able to deal a ton of damage to the Beast Slayers of Bastogne with that Fate of Buno, and our front line's doing all right. A lot of our troops have been routed off or just chopped down in the fight, but overall we're just winning the capture weight fight, which is my focus here. So Rotflies coming over here, jumping on top of the Knights of the Lionhearted. I actually forgot that these guys had anti-large, but I needed some kind of mobile unit with armor piercing to deal with some of the cavalry, and luckily they've got support of the Plague Bearers, so they'll take less of the brunt of the damage from these guys, and we'll keep working them down. So we got some units dissipating. Plague Bearers are crumbling or disintegrating, I forget what it's called for Nurgle, but losing a lot of troops. Luckily we're still winning the capture weight fight. It's kind of flipping back and forth. I need to get the Beast of Nurgle on there. I need to get these guys sitting on the point. Battered Chaos Warriors coming over here just to screen these guys off. I brought the Festering Stooges, and lucky for me, they came right when these Grail Knights came. So we got a Grail Knight, Fey Enchantress push coming through. She's on the Unicorn, pushing through. They're going to grab my Marauder Horsemen. These guys are just going to get slaughtered. I did not catch that in time. So I got my Lord coming over here, trying to jump on top of the Fey Enchantress. Got the Festering Stooges trying to turn and fire their ammunition at the Grail Knights. I believe I drop a Fate of Buno on these guys here and pop my Filth Mace. Give this guy some extra combat stats, and we've got rot flies coming in to jump on top of them as well. I was really nervous about my Lord getting gooned out here, but Beta Buna doing tons of work on these guys, and they're running, and now the Enchantress is on my side of the battlefield, and she's surrounded by large units. So there's the rot flies, there's my Lord, and they're gonna jump on top of her. I almost pursued these guys, but I figured I can turn around, get her surrounded, get the Festering Stooges over on top of her as well to keep her from escaping. And that was basically it. So she used Awakening the Wood. I guess she was trying to blast her way out, but didn't do too much damage. I don't think the rot flies. They're still pretty healthy. We were able to rout off the cavalry over there and return to point 1. Still doing pretty good on the victory tickets. The gold value is getting a little bit closer. We're still losing, but a little bit closer. And nothing going on at point 3. Routing off most of their troops, and at this point, just trying to get the Enchantress taken care of. So my Lord's going to chase her off, and that's going to be a big win for me because now all of his infantry are not going to have leadership. They might chain route. So my opponent, I figured he saw his Lord getting chased off. He saw the victory ticket situation, and I still had a pretty decent battlefield presence. So that was that. Able to win that one mostly on just holding the ground on the points. So interesting matchup. I was worried about the pace of Bretonnia. I knew I was going to have to try to get a good force standing on each of these points. This was my game plan from the beginning, holding the middle and then watching this point as well. So there we go. Let's take a quick look at the damage values. So 2,000 on my Lord, so he definitely paid for himself. Rot flies didn't do great. I think I re-summoned them, at least one of them. The Chaos Warriors actually didn't get that much value, but they really held well. Beast didn't accrue too much. Plague Bears, nothing crazy. Nurglings, nothing crazy. What else we got here? I never got the Soul Grinder on the field. Festering Stooges, man, these guys, I think they pounded the Grail Knights. I think that's probably where they got a lot of their value. Didn't get the Plague Drones on the field. Again, Chaos Warriors just holding ground. Nobody really got crazy value. The Chaos Furies, even though it looks like a lot, Fury unit having 1,100 value, these guys were resummoned, so they didn't even really necessarily pay for themselves. I think they cost 600 to get on the field. Yeah, I think they cost 600. So for my opponent, Enchantress did okay. Didn't pay for herself. Beast Slayers got smashed. These guys did all right. I think they cost around that much. They might cost 850, 950, somewhere thereabouts. Infantry aren't really worth looking at so much. The Peasant Bowmen actually did pretty good. 850-ish, 600-ish, 400, 950-ish. Pretty good value on those guys for how much they cost. I think they're only 350 or something. Maybe even less as a standard variant, but don't quote me on that. Grail Knights got chewed. I was able to pick these guys off pretty well. Same thing with the Knights of the Lionhearted. These guys didn't get too much opportunity to shine. Blessed Trebuchets just about pay for themselves. Nothing else too crazy going on there. So yeah, now I'm going to be playing around with a couple different factions at this point. Figured I'd start with Nurgle, and it might depend on the map. But thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.